It was his brother who tore the call on that the morning of their birth, and as if that sole act of assertion was to set an inverted precedent for inertia in his life to come, Euclid, then unnamed, clutched a hold of his brother's heels and slopped into the world with all the glory of an uninvited guest. The noonday sun spun in the sky like a molten bolt and hammered down upon the tin roof and tarred plank sides of the shack. Inside sat Pa, at his table, surrounded by his ingenious contraptions of springs and steel, sweating midst the bleeding heat while greasing his traps and trying in vain to closet his ears from the drunken ravings of his wife, who lay sprawled and caterwauling in the back seat of the old burnt-out Chevy. Pride of the junk pile, that car, sitting on bricks out back of the shack like a great shell shed in disgust by some outsized crawler. There in the squirms of labor, his bibulous spouse shrieked against the miracle that swelled and kicked inside her as she sucked on a bottle of her own white Jesus, rocking the Chevy on its stilts and moaning and screaming, screaming and moaning, "Pa! Pa!" until she heard the shack door open and then the shack door shut, whereupon she took leave of the morning and passed into unconsciousness. Too pissed to push, Pa would tell Euclid later. Prizing the liquor bottle free of her grubby clutch, for even out cold she hung on and hung on, Pa broke the bottle carefully on the car's rusted tail fin. Taking intuition as his midwife and a large shard of glass as his cutter, he spread his prostrate wife with child and doused her private parts in peel liquor. And with a chain of oaths spilling from his mouth, and with all the summer insects humming, with the sun in the sky and not a cloud in sight, with a hellish shriek and a gush of gleet, 2 slobbering bundles came tumbling out. Jesus, too, cried Pa, but one died soon. Inside the shack, 2 fruit crates lined with newspapers sat side by side on the table. The animal traps had been moved and hung around the walls. 2 boxes, and in each a babe. Pa peered in. Neither made a sound, and both lay quite still upon their backs, naked as the day and with eyes wide and wondering. Pa drew the nibbled stub of a pencil from his trouser pocket and, squinting, leaned toward the little ones, writing on the foot end of the firstborn's crib, "Number 1, then licking the tip, "Number 2, upon the crib in which Euclid lay. Then he stood back and stared from one to the other, and one and the other reciprocated earnestly. Theirs were strange almond eyes, with slightly swollen upper lids and next to no lashes, blue but so pale as almost to verge on pink, intent, eager, never still, not for a moment. Rather they seemed to hover, these weird, chattering eyes, hover and tremble in their browless sockets. Little Euclid coughed, short and sharp, his tiny pink tongue lapping at his lower lip and then curling back inside. And as if waiting for a signal and recognizing it in Euclid's timid hack, the brave little firstborn closed his eyes and fell into a slumber from which he would never wake. "Goodbye, brother," I said to myself as he slipped away. And for a full minute I thought I too was going under, so fucking cold was his dying. Then sailing through the night came the raucous fray of her bitch ship, Ma Mother, Ma, screeching in hoarse malediction through the very anus of obscenity while banging on the side of the Chevy and going, "Where's my bottle? Where's my bottle?"